Is Bruno Mars secretly preparing to sing the last unheard songs of Michael Jackson? Could a hidden album written during NJ's most mysterious creative season finally see the light, with Bruno's voice leading the way? And what happens when BTS joins this global tribute to the king of pop? Like, comment, and subscribe now, because what you're about to read might be the beginning of the most powerful comeback story in music history. No one saw it coming, not this way. Not with this much secrecy, not with this kind of legacy at stake. And yet, the whispers are growing louder. The clues are tightening into a single narrative, a narrative that could change the shape of global pop culture in 2026 forever. What if Michael Jackson, even in death, still had something to say? And what if Bruno Mars is the one chosen to say it? In the deep circles of fan forums and music industry whispers, a singular rumor has resurfaced with renewed urgency, one that ties together the legacy of the king of pop, the magnetism of Bruno Mars, and the unstoppable rise of BTS. At the center of it is a project so secretive, so emotionally loaded, that it has already been dubbed by those close to it as the most historic tribute album ever made. And if the rumors are true, what's being created behind closed doors isn't just an album, it's a time capsule, a resurrection, and a bridge between generations that were never supposed to meet. It all traces back to 2006, to a period of Michael Jackson's life that many fans overlook, his reclusive, creative period in Ireland. Following years of controversy and exhaustion, Jackson fled the spotlight and found solace in a quiet estate far from Los Angeles, far from the noise. It was there, in the calm of Irish hills, that he reportedly began writing again. But not just writing, pouring himself into the music. According to sources who've worked with the Jackson estate, Michael recorded dozens of raw demos during this time. Songs with no agenda, no label pressure. Just Michael alone with his voice, his melodies, and his heartbreak. None of those songs were ever released. They've been sitting in archives, untouched, for nearly 2 decades, until now. Fast forward to today, and insiders have started referring to a mysterious project slated for 2026, a full-length album featuring Michael Jackson's never-before-heard compositions from 2006, songs that have never leaked, never been played, never even been whispered about outside the most exclusive music circles. And leading that project, according to mounting speculation, Bruno Mars. No confirmation has come from Mars or his team. No denials, either, which only adds more fuel to the wildfire, because Bruno Mars has long been hailed as the modern echo of MJ's brilliance, a performer who channels Jackson's essence in a way that feels less like imitation and more like spiritual continuation. His voice, his moves, his stage charisma, they don't just resemble MJ's legacy, they honor it. That's why, when fans first caught wind of this rumor back in 2023, they didn't dismiss it, they felt it. Something about the idea just made sense. And over the past year, more and more puzzle pieces have fallen into place. The unreleased Jackson songs from Ireland's Green Silence, the 2026 release date coinciding with the highly anticipated MJ biopic, the sudden surge in studio sightings involving collaborators from both the Mars and Jackson camps, and now, most explosively, the confirmation that global superstars, BTS, are officially part of the project. That's right, BTS, the K-pop phenomenon with a reach across Asia, Europe, and the Americas, has been confirmed as participants in this tribute album, which means the scale of this release just exploded. What began as a quiet tribute has evolved into a global music event, one that could potentially bring together audiences from every corner of the planet under one name, Michael Jackson. The inclusion of BTS doesn't just expand the album's global reach, it transforms it. It introduces a new generation to MJ through a lens they trust and adore. It fuses East and West in a way never done before on a posthumous album of this magnitude, and it sets the stage for Bruno Mars to take on what may be the most significant performance of his entire career. Imagine this, a Michael Jackson song written in 2006, never heard by the public, finally completed in 2026, the vocals led by Bruno Mars, harmonies with BTS, a video premiere tied to the Michael Biopic's release, a performance at the Grammys, a special documentary, a world tour tribute. The possibilities are endless, and more than that, they're emotional, because this isn't just about music. It's about memory. It's about legacy. It's about a world that still misses Michael and a world that still believes in magic. For Bruno Mars, this would mark his biggest artistic moment since the Silk Sonic era. It would place him not just in NJ's shadow but directly in his light, not as a successor, but as a vessel, as someone who doesn't just sing like Michael, but someone who feels what Michael once felt. So far, the silence from Mars's side has been telling. His social media has grown quieter, his appearances more calculated. Some posts have hinted at studio time, but nothing confirmed, nothing denied. It's as if he knows once the announcement is made, the entire music world will stop and stare. The Jackson estate has also remained tight-lipped, but sources close to the production say the team is aiming for a simultaneous reveal. The first trailer for the MJ biopic followed immediately by the first single from the tribute album. That moment is predicted to arrive late 2025, and when it does, fans will finally get their answer. Is the voice behind the music Bruno Mars? Has BTS truly recorded vocals for a track penned by Michael himself? And will we finally get to hear what the king of pop left behind in those Irish notebooks? For now, all we can do is wait. But waiting has never felt more thrilling, because the idea of a posthumous MJ album, built on untouched creations and completed by the very artists inspired by him, feels almost too powerful to be true. But it's not just speculation anymore. The gears are turning, the players are moving, and 2026 is starting to feel less like a date and more like destiny. If it happens, if Bruno Mars does emerge as the lead voice of this global tribute, it will mark a chapter in music unlike anything we've seen. A moment where two generations collapse into one song, a heartbeat stretching across time. And if BTS truly joins the journey, then we're no longer looking at just an album. We're witnessing a cultural fusion of epic proportions, a farewell, a rebirth, a celebration, and a passing of the torch. Michael Jackson may be gone, but in silence, he may have left a masterpiece. And in 2026, that masterpiece might finally be her. All eyes are on the horizon now. The King's story isn't over. It's only changing shape. And maybe, just maybe, it's finding a new voice. So keep watching, keep listening, like, comment, and subscribe, because the moment this story breaks, you'll want to be the first to know. What if the biggest musical collaboration of the century has been hidden in plain sight all along? And what if 2026 is the year the world hears Michael Jackson through Bruno Mars? And so, as whispers turned into threads, and threads into storms across social media platforms, fans couldn't help but ask, if this is true, if Bruno Mars is really stepping into the vocal space left behind by the king of pop, what would that sound like? What would it feel like to hear the echo of 2006 era Michael Jackson lyrics laced with the silky, soulful power of Bruno Mars in 2026? One can only imagine the production rooms, the pressure, the legacy, the stakes. Imagine a dusty studio vault in Ireland being unlocked after 2 decades, revealing handwritten lyrics, demo vocals, and musical sketches that were never meant to stay silent forever. These weren't throwaways. These were tracks Michael Jackson reportedly held dear, songs he had created while secluded in the green pastures of Ireland. During one of his most introspective creative periods, music born from solitude, reflection, and vision, pieces of himself no one has yet heard. And now, the task of completing those fragments, filling in the missing brushstrokes, and breathing life into them again, may fall onto the shoulders of one man, Bruno Mars. It's an opportunity both sacred and dangerous, because this isn't just any tribute album. This isn't another medley of cover songs or a celebratory remix of past hits. This is original, unheard material written by Michael Jackson himself, a historical resurrection. Bruno Mars, who has long danced in NJ's shadow and light, could now become part of his unfinished chapter. But is the world ready for it? There's a magnetic pull when two icons collide, when legacies merge not by coincidence, but by cosmic design. Bruno Mars has never hidden his reverence for Michael. In interviews, in performances, in subtle vocal inflections, the fingerprints of MJ are everywhere in his artistry. Yet this potential project asks for more than admiration. It asks for embodiment. It asks for trust. It asks for the torch to be handed down not in ceremony, but in sound. And the timing, eerily perfect, the biopic chronicling the life and legacy of Michael Jackson, is set to release in the same year. If the stars align, the album and the movie could rise together, each echoing the other's heartbeat, one on screen, one in sound waves. And somewhere in the middle of all this, a voice, Bruno's voice. But perhaps what amplifies the magnitude of this moment is not just Bruno Mars himself, it's who else is reportedly involved. Yes, BTS, the South Korean supergroup, already one of the most influential acts on the planet, has been confirmed as part of the tribute. Their participation marks a historic bridge between Western pop royalty and Asian global domination. For Michael Jackson's unreleased songs to be shared not just through one voice, but through a collaboration that spans continents, languages, and generations, it is nothing short of revolutionary. It makes you wonder, was this MJ's vision all along, to unite the world, even long after he was gone? For now, Bruno Mars has remained silent. His team has neither confirmed nor denied the rumor. No hints, no teases, no cryptic tweets, just an eerie, calculated quiet one that only fuels the flames further. And fans, they're listening, watching, waiting. Every red carpet appearance, every Instagram story, every minor update on his tour or studio time is dissected like a clue. Could that new photo mean something? Is he headed to a secret recording session? Was that handshake with a BTS member more than just a moment? The anticipation is becoming its own kind of music, a rhythmic heartbeat, pulsing louder with each passing day. Because this isn't just about a song. This is about legacy, reverence, resurrection. It's about whether an artist from this generation can step into the intimate, private, unreleased world of the most iconic pop star who ever lived and do it justice. It's about whether Bruno Mars can carry not just the melody, but the memory. And perhaps, it's about closure too. About finishing something that began almost 20 years ago in the Irish countryside. About giving Michael's music the stage it deserves, even now. Especially now. Because maybe, just maybe, there's something poetic about a song written in 2006, being sung for the first time in 2026. Exactly 20 years later. Maybe that's the kind of timing only music understands. And when it finally happens, if it happens, the world won't just be listening. It will be remembering.